Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Motivation Mornings with Marnie and Melissa. I'm Melissa Houston. I'm a health insurance specialist and financial planner in Victoria, BC. And I am a fan of Thai food.
Oh, that's so good. And good morning, everybody. And I loved you singing us in. That could be a new thing. I like that a lot. Sorry, I'm Marnie Dangerfield. I'm a wellness and intentional creativity coach, also here in Victoria, BC. And I'm easily distracted. So I'm just watching the screen right now. I'm just going to share that.
Oh, well, this morning in your mesmerizement, that's not a word. Mesmerizement is not a word.
I like it.
I invented a word just now. This is how to cook a vegan Thai feast posted on YouTube by Eat More Plants. And in case anyone is wondering how I chose today's video, it's in recognition of the fact that it's Chef Jamie Oliver's birthday today. And I know that he has been a big inspiration to a lot of people cooking out there in the world. So, and cooking is a wonderful way to be creative. And, obviously our food becomes us. So it's very important and it brings a lot of people a lot of joy. So anyways, that's what today is about, the joy of cooking and recognizing Jamie's birthday.
Oh, I love that. I love all of that. The things you know. Yes, so important what we put in our bodies. So we will start off. We always like to start off with our value statement, and then Melissa's going to start us off with what's inspiring her this week. Then I will go next with my inspiration, and then it's my favorite time of the month because it's the month Melissa shares financial wellness tip information. And then she'll share our contact information, and then we'll be rounded out with an inspirational quote.
Which Marnie's doing today.
That's right.
That's what I'm excited about. All right. So our value statement. Today we gather
in the spirit of possibility,
in support of community,
to encourage holistic well-being,
to empower our authentic selves,
to share appreciation,
to express compassion,
and to enjoy this gift of life.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry I started to giggle at the beginning, but I was proving my distractedness. I was looking at the screen when I was supposed to be starting what I was saying. Yeah.
Well, I'm feeling a little bad because I haven't framed the video very well. So they were actually showing ingredients in that earlier so you can make this stuff. Anyways, I encourage you to visit the video yourself if any of this looks tempting to make. This vegan Thai feast. And also, if anyone joining us live today would like to share what is motivating or inspiring them, please feel free to chat with us in the chat box. Hi there. I think this is my mom. It says Brent, but it says, I'm pretty sure it's my mom. So hi, Mom. Good morning. And yeah, I should just dive into what's inspiring me today.
Yes, what's inspiring you? And good morning, Melissa's mom. Thanks for being here.
Yes, thanks for joining us. So mine's kind of, it's a little on the simpler side today, but I was outside in my backyard last night watering my plants, and it was sort of that golden hour prior to sunset. The sun had that special goldeny light to it, and it was hitting my trees. And after I was done watering everything, I was just taking it all in, enjoying some fresh air and admiring how beautiful everything looked. And it dawned on me that, it's appreciating those kind of things are very, it seems like a fleeting moment. And those moments, I mean, all moments of lights are kind of fleeting. which is why it's so important to try to live in the moment as much as we can. But I was thinking, um, much like exercise and things that take repetition, if you make a habit of it, incorporate it into your daily routine of noticing and appreciating those kinds of things, that it will add up in the end, that when you look back, they will be so, those moments will be so much clearer in your memory and more significant overall in your life, um, rather than just doing it, here or there. I don't know. I just thought it was something I feel like I would like to do more of, that I want to be more conscious of taking in those moments, because I would like to have it accumulate in my life, so that when I look back at my time here in my life, that I I want that to be a strong memory for me. I want that to be a significant part of my life. So that was that's what's motivating and inspiring me today.
Oh, I just grinning from ear to ear over here. I'm so happy to hear it. And it's so true. It's, it's what do we choose to focus on? And as you say, it's that practice of the building it. And so then those moments just become more and more, that's what you remember, because you're really present for them and taking them in. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I could picture the scene that you described. Oh, that's so lovely.
Yeah. So that's me. How about you, Marnie?
Well, I am going to share, I'm going to do a bit of reading. Bear with me here. Um, Last week, you were on a call with me, and I ended up with a bit of a reading by Sharon Salzberg. She has a new book coming out in the fall, and there was an excerpt from it in the Mindful magazine. And it was just, it inspired me, because I know there's a lot of people that think and feel the same, like we're all in this together and such, but it's when I get to read something that really resonates, and I know someone else is feeling similarly, it just really lights a fire. So
Mm.
this is a bit of from her book, and she's the one I first heard the loving kindness meditation from. And anyway, so it's about interconnectedness as our greatest strength. It's a little excerpt from her book. So I timed it this morning with a couple minutes. So um, soft and strong. When I want to summon strength and power in the midst of awfulness and hate, I contemplate water. Our ideas of strength so often surround images of things that are hard, like rock or even a clenched fist. Perhaps that's why we think love doesn't include strength, softness. We are thinking of only one dimension. That's why I think of water in all its manifestations. Look at the many ways we experience water. Trickles, spurts, floods, pours, streams, soaks, and shows itself in many more modes. All these convey evanescence, release, flow. They are all about not being stuck. Water is flexible, taking the shape of whatever vessel it flows into. It's always interacting, changing, in motion, yet revealing continual patterns of connection. Water can be so expressive, a single of our most heartfelt feelings. We cry tears of sorrow, tears of outrage, tears of gratitude, and tears of joy. Water can be puzzling, seeming weak or ineffectual, yielding too much, not holding firm. And yet over time, water will carve its own pathway, even through rock. And yes, water freezes, but it also melts. And I'll skip ahead later, and I will share the whole thing on our page. But um, she goes on to near the end say, I believe that the love we crave and that we have available to give is a healing force. Love is not soft and mushy. It is strong and resilient. It springs from the truth of our interconnectedness and is powerful because it is aligned with what is true. I believe in the possibility of a world where our interconnection is a deeply known and motivating force, where no one is left out, where the innate dignity of every person is acknowledged, and where hatred and fear and greed can be tempered. I believe in a world where change might be hard, but is always seen as possible. However stuck we might feel in any given moment, I believe in a world where we can have a wisdom to guide us, we can have love to propel us, and we can have the support of one another to try to accomplish a vision of inclusion and care. I also believe in justice in a world. I also believe in justice in a world where actions have consequences, where people are held accountable, even as we try to take care of one another. And I believe in a world where the fluidity and softness of love, like water, might superficially seem like the weakest thing of all, but lo and behold, it is indomitable. It can even wear away a rock. Jane, what kind of world do you most believe? That's inspiring.
Mm. Wow. So lovely. So many powerful thoughts all in one thing. Oh,
All in
wow.
one thing, all packed up. So I will share the whole piece, but those were the sort of what stuck out with me. So often I think love does get seen as sort of a mushy, soft thing,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
powerful.
yeah. Yeah. It'd be good to read the whole thing. I'll admit, Marnie, as I really enjoy hearing you share these readings with us. I'm not a very good audio listener. I think I absorb better reading. So thank you so much for sharing with me, but it would be awesome to get the written version too, and then it'd be that much more impactful for people like
Absolutely.
me.
Absolutely. So where are we going with your tip today? I'm so excited. I got my pen and paper handy like I always do.
You're gonna have a whole notebook of stuff.
Yep. Tips from Melissa.
All right, financial wellness tips. Today, I wanted to touch on the fact that there is something called behavioral finance, and it sort of looks at psychological tendencies that we have that impact our financial decisions. And sometimes those uh, those influences are not in our best interest. It's actually well, I enjoy psychology in general, but in this way, it's really interesting that certain tendencies will seem like the right decision based on just some biases and things that have happened in our past. Compared to if we were being just purely logical and looking at the facts. So it's very interesting. So I want to give 3 tips for us to sort of be aware of regarding how we make decisions about our money and finances. So the first one is about being flexible with our money. We often sort of make mental buckets of money for different things. Like we'll be like, okay, so this account is for retirement. This account is saving up for travel or a new car. We sort of make different mental buckets, sometimes literal if you're saving the money in different accounts and things like that, but we separate the money for different purposes, and generally that's a good strategy. But the downside is that once we sort of have that money allocated in our mind for something in particular, we're then reluctant to spend it on something else that would actually be a wiser choice. So for instance, say you're saving money for a vacation, but you have some high interest credit card debt. It would actually be better if you pay off that debt first rather than saving it for the vacation. But we have a hard time feeling like we can do that it's actually one pool of money. So don't be afraid to move money from one mental jar into something that would actually be more beneficial for you in the long term. So that's tip 1. Tip 2 is to make a plan for found, quote unquote, found money. So sometimes, we get a tax refund, or we get a pay raise, maybe a gift for your birthday or holiday. We occasionally get some money that is not expected, and a lot of times it just sort of feels like, oh, it's free money. Let's get treats, or just have fun with it. But that's generally happens because we don't have a plan for it. So if in advance, knowing that occasionally money might come into your possession that you weren't expecting, and say, okay, so if I get money unexpectedly, I'm going to put 50% towards my top financial goal, and whatever that is, whether it's saving for retirement or adding to an emergency fund or paying down debt, whatever your top priority is. And that's not to say you can't, do something special with it, or fun with some of it. But keep in mind that you should have some kind of overarching financial goals, and that shouldn't go out the window when you receive some money that you aren't expecting. So it's a great benefit to make that money, maximize that money as much as possible for your financial well-being. So make a plan for found money. And the third one, last one, is to time your decisions. There's actually been some research into sort of mental fatigue and when it is a good time to make decisions during the day and when it's not. So according to some research, 3 p.m. is the worst time to make significant decisions. We're a little bit tired at that point of the day. It's sort of nearing the end of the work day. A lot's been happening. And it's not that surprising that morning is actually the best time to be making significant decisions. So the idea is, if you need to do something significant, like ask your boss for a raise or make some crucial decisions about what to do with your investments or things like that, try to do it in the morning, and try to avoid doing it mid to late afternoon when your mind might not be making the best decisions for you. Yeah, so that's my financial wellness tips for today.
Oh, thank you so much. Those are so good.
I hope they're helpful.
And it's so true, because I can see myself reflecting that, because I have, the buckets and not wanting to shift around. And as you say, like having that, and, overall financial goals, what a great idea.
And I think
Planning,
most
but
people do have those buckets, mentally or literally.
yeah, all three of those. Thank you.
Yeah, no
And
problem.
it's so easy to forget at that time of the day, like at 3 p.m. But yeah, not a great time for most of us, depending on our schedule. So,
Well, and like decision fatigue. Some people, if you're faced with a lot of decisions in a day, that's another thing they teach us, is that if you're trying to talk to someone about making a lot of changes in their financial world, you can't give them too many decisions to make in one sitting, because by the end of it, they're not going to be making the right decisions because they're just tired of making decisions.
yes.
So it's sort of along the same lines. By the mid to late afternoon, we've probably made a lot of decisions in a day, and we might just sort of be like, whatever's easiest.
Exactly, like this. Make this go away, whatever. I'll
Yeah,
say this.
yeah. Oh, I got to do this. Oh, just do this. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So we're going to round up today's webcast. Here is our contact information. Anyone wanting to provide us with comments, feedback, ideas, feel free to email us at motivation.mornings@gmail.com. Our Facebook page is MM and our Instagram is motivation_mornings_with_MM. And lastly, we have our YouTube channel. That's where all the recordings of these get posted. Feel free to subscribe to us on there so you get notifications whenever we have new ones posted, which should be most Wednesdays if you haven't noticed. All right, and now for something really exciting, motivational quote from Marnie. Here we
So
go.
since this is the first time sending it to Melissa ahead of time and such, not realizing the right shapes and stuff, so this is going to be a bit larger than you're used to.
Oh, it's okay.
I'll endeavor for next time. We're going to have that worked out, but yes. So this week's one is from Pema Chodron from her book, Welcoming the Unwelcome. There's nothing we can do to change the past and the present, but the future is unwritten. What we do right now will help create that future, which is not just our own future, but a future we share with many others. Bit of a theme I'm on lately. And before I sent this to Melissa, I didn't realize that there was going to be a release of the 10% Happier podcast where she's interviewed on it.
Oh.
I just listened to it this morning and I highly recommend it. So I will be sharing that on our page as well. Like conversation.
Awesome. I'm very intrigued by the title of her book, Welcoming the Unwelcome.
Yes. But some good titles from some of her books, which, yeah, if you listen to the podcast, you'll hear some of it. Sort of like she's been leading up to this moment with some of her work, but not that bad.
Well, I will look forward to seeing your post, in the comment section of our recording here.
You betcha.
Well, thanks again so much for joining us this morning, and for all of you watching the recording at your leisure. Hope you found some value today and can't wait to see you again next week.
Yes, thank you so much. Wishing you all a good, kind day.
Have a wonderful, I can't even speak today. Have a wonderful
Yes, have a wonderful, wonderful.
Bye, everybody.